Everyone.
Hello, my name is Bill Houston. I am the founder of CrowdMax Consulting, a real estate investment crowdfunding consulting agency. Welcome to the ProActive Social Impact LinkedIn Live featuring Dr. Canaan Van Williams, Managing Director of ProActive Social Impact Funds. Today, we'll delve into the transformative power of social impact housing, explore unique investment opportunities, and discuss how ProActive is revitalizing communities while delivering meaningful returns. Dr. Van, please introduce yourself and we'll get started.
Okay, yes, sir. My name is Dr. Canaan Van Williams, um, founder, managing partner of, and regional manager at the Proactive Social Impact Funds. Uh, been in this space since August of 2019. Founded a fund. Prior to that, was in real estate, celebrating my 25th year of real estate, doctorate degree in psychology, and working to get people into housing rapidly and that's safe, decent, and affordable.
All right, thank you, Dr. Van. So let's get started here. Can you share the story behind one of your flagship projects at Proactive Social Impact Funds and what makes it stand out for you?
Yes. So uh, one story is the Orangeburg, South Carolina property. It was 187 space manufactured home park. And we were able to go in and reposition that property, create a lot of home ownership, a lot of cost savings benefits, and uh, impact the community both economically and with social impact. That's one case study that's in Orangeburg, South Carolina, 100 Citrus Circle. Previously, when we acquired the property, it was 100 Banachet Circle. And that was in our fund, um, the Proactive Realty Income Fund. And we were able to do quite a bit. We were able to do quite a bit there with that property. But mostly creating the home ownership, creating affordable rentals for people in that community who are at or below the poverty line was a major milestone for us there.
Great. Thank you for that. Um, so next question here. How do you select the locations for your social impact housing projects and what key factors do you consider?
The key factors we consider are location. We typically invest and go after projects that are either in or near an opportunity zone or a TEA zone, which in TEA is an acronym for Targeted Employment Area, which is part of the EB5 program. And small disclaimer, where we do have an opportunity zone fund. However, uh, we don't invest only in opportunity zone areas. We don't only invest with our opportunity zone fund. We do a lot of investing in areas that are just underserved, in need of affordable housing. And the same goes for manufactured housing, manufactured home parks, when we go into those as well.
Okay, great. What challenges have you encountered in bringing these projects to life, and how have you overcome them?
Uh, First thing that comes to mind is lack of capital. Sometimes we haven't always had the capital to complete projects as soon as we start them, or we've had an investor commitment that something will change for the investor. So oftentimes it's lack of capital can be a challenge. I've overcome that by personally being invested in the fund, fully invested. I'm a 50% owner of the fund, as well as taking out loans myself. Whatever is needed to get the project to the finish line is how we've overcome that. The other one is a challenge that's not so easily overcome, but it's the ability to execute on projects. So sometimes we miss out on some really good, impactful deals that would benefit the community. And it's just, we're not able to jump on those deals just because we're not always well capitalized to do so in the impact space. And there are some people who don't understand the impact space, and being that they don't understand it, they're more return driven. And so sometimes that's the challenge that we face.
Can you talk about the Greeleyville project and its significance in that local community?
Yes. So the Greeleyville project is a 14 space manufactured home park located in Greeleyville, South Carolina, 50 Old Train Road, Greeleyville, South Carolina, 29056. We just brought in brand new housing, and that housing are 3-bedroom, 2-bath units that we've brought in. And we're now in the process of renting those up, leasing those up. A lot of demand. It's been absolutely fantastic. And we didn't realize the need. Again, one of these areas that are underserved, we didn't realize how strong the need would be for affordable housing there. So the Greeleyville project is more of a cornerstone of our impact in South Carolina, in addition to the project that we completed. In addition to the project that we completed in Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Great. Here's a question I know you'll enjoy answering. How do you
Yes,
measure
sir.
the success of a project beyond just completing the renovation?
Cost savings, benefits, how we measure the impact, which we have a Morningstar Sustainalytics report. What else can I say? So the success is not only measured by the project completion, but it's measured by the long-term impact it has on the residents, the community, most importantly, the cost savings benefits, the affordability factor, enhancing enhancing community safety, providing a stable living environment. And we measure our success through Morningstar. Most people are familiar with Morningstar.com, the fund ratings company that rates mutual funds, bonds, things of that nature. We have a report from Morningstar's Sustainalytics division. So their website is sustainalytics.com. And we have a second party opinion report and a social impact report that outlines our sustainable development goals. It outlines the impact that we've created to date over the last 4.5 years. And it also indicates the impact that we will have on future projects that we have in our pipeline. And so we have 2 published reports that were completed June of 2024. That's on their website. And while I have you on the phone, not on the phone, but on the meet, I will drop. Well, if someone wants to get in contact with us, they can, and we can give them a copy of the report. I was going to put the link in the chat, so you can go on to the next question, Mr. Bill.
What role does the community input play in the development of your projects?
That's an interesting question. So community input. So our community input is very vital. We engage with local residents, social service agencies, community leaders, the sheriff's department. Like in Greeleyville, South Carolina, it's the sheriff's department. Larger cities, it'd be like our community policing officer, and we've engaged with them to get their input to ensure that our projects align with the specific needs and desires of the local population, and also to ensure that that they're viable, and that there are people. Sorry about that. It's my dog was barking, and he never barks. But to make sure that the projects are sustainable, if there are any safety issues we need to know about, if there's any bad actors in the neighborhood we need to know about. So that help us with our security and planning out a project. And I just put the link in the chat to our published sustainalytics report. And what I mean by bad actors is this: like we recently had one home that was that had a break-in, which is rare. And this was in the beginning of about the mid stage of the Greeleyville project of bringing manufactured housing in. And so we immediately linked up with the local sheriff, who put us in touch with the chief of police. We had cameras, and we were able to quickly identify and eradicate the issue. However, had we not had that existing relationship, it could have gone a totally different direction. So I was very thankful for that, and the community input is vital. It's especially in underserved neighborhoods. We work with also there in Greeleyville. We're now working with the housing authority. So we have a couple people who will be coming in who were formerly unhoused, and we're able to assist them as well.
Great. Can you explain the environmental impact considerations that go into your projects? For example, the energy efficient homes in Greeleyville?
Yes. Okay. So the environmental impact is our sustainability, and that's outlined in our reports from Morningstar Sustainalytics. The environmental sustainability, the viability of the program, the sustainability is integral to our projects, particularly in Greeleyville, where energy efficient homes are our focus. In all of our communities in manufactured housing, energy efficiency is our focus, and we reduce the environmental footprint while we provide a long-term cost savings for residents. And when I say a long-term cost savings, what I'm talking about is the importance of residents having affordable energy bills. I don't know if most people are aware, but however, an energy bill can really kill a person's budget, especially if you're low income and you work with or you have to rely on utility companies that are very expensive.
How do you ensure that your projects remain affordable for residents while still being financially viable for investors?
Great question. So what we do is that we make sure that we can go into a property and we buy it at a price that is that's well below replacement costs. We utilize strategic financing partnerships with social service agencies. And when I say social service agencies, these are agencies that can guarantee that we'll have end users for the product, such as people who need a place to live. And so that's one of the ways that we do that.
Can you discuss any partnerships or collaborations that have been crucial to the success of your projects?
Yes. So organizations like UMH, we sold one of our developments to publicly traded UMH.com, which is on the New York Stock Exchange. Their ticker symbol is UMH. Fantastic company, awesome company. They have, we've been well aligned with them. That partnership has turned out to be absolutely successful in selling a property that we did all the heavy lifting on a value add property. Hope Link of Nevada, the city of Las Vegas, county of Las Vegas, Clark County. There have been so many partnerships that have been really successful that have allowed us to go in and to be successful.
Hey, what kind of feedback have you received from residents who have moved into your developments? And before you answer that question, I just want to say that we just posted on YouTube, on the Proactive Social Impact Investing channel, some testimonials from people. So if you really want to get into the nitty gritty, visit the Proactive Social Impact Investing YouTube channel, and you can actually see some of those testimonials. So yeah, what kind of feedback have you received from residents who have moved into your developments?
We received like some really good feedback. Like they don't know what they would have done if they hadn't, located Proactive or found us. That it's been overwhelmingly positive, especially regarding the affordability, the safety, and the stability that our projects provide, the housing security. Residents appreciate the sense of community, the quality of living conditions in our units, developments, and also another really biggie is that they really appreciate the affordability factor, that they're able to afford the place and have a really good cost savings benefit, that they're free to be who they are, have their families there. And it's been overwhelmingly positive in numerous aspects.
Okay, great. So let's move a little bit to some of the offerings and talk about some of the offerings that Proactive Social Impact Funds has. What makes investing in proactive social impact funds different from traditional real estate investments?
It's fundamentally different from because we prioritize measurable social impact. Very important. Our impact is not impact unless it's measured. So we have measured social impact, affordable housing. Our focus is on underserved communities. Our focus is on generating solid cost savings benefits for the residents. Our focus is on generating solid returns for investors. And we are rapid housing. We have a new website that'll be coming out or linked up to our current website called 100dayhousing.com. What our differentiator is, our main differentiator is that we can house people in something decent, affordable, safe, and at a cost savings benefit within 100 days or less of investment. So if we get a large investment that comes in, say we get a check that comes in for $10 million, we're able to put that in the ground immediately and start providing housings. And, we have a whole team. They'll pick up the phone, get on email, text, WhatsApp, start talking to social service agencies in specific areas where housing is needed. We can start to post on Facebook. We can start to post on our Rent Tech Direct website units that we have available. There's another website called gosection8.com. We reach out also to veterans agencies. We reach out to Catholic charities, and we let them know, we have X amount of units coming online. Do you have people? And often we have meetings where social workers or housing reps will come out, inspect what we have to make sure it's viable, safe, decent for their, potential clients or residents. And we go from there. So that's the differentiator. We're able to provide rapid, immediate housing.
Can you
That's
explain
affordable.
how proactive? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That is affordable. The cost savings benefit is very important. Cost savings, measurable impact, solid returns to investors. So that's what differentiates or separates us from traditional real estate or other traditional real estate investments.
It almost feels like you anticipated the next question. Can you explain how Proactive's offerings align with both financial returns and social impact goals?
So it's a win-win situation for both community and for our investors. Financial returns and social impact by strategically acquiring distressed properties. As I stated before, that we can buy for well below replacement cost. We go in, revitalize, upgrade, repair. A lot of them have deferred maintenance, and we make those ready and available to our end user, which is a resident. And it creates a win-win for both the community and for our investors.
How do you balance the needs of investors with the mission to provide affordable housing and social impact housing?
We have a sustainable bond coming out. And disclaimer, it's not guaranteed. It's may lose value. It's with all alternative investments, it involves a degree of risk. So we carefully balance the needs of investors with our mission of affordable housing by focusing on sustainable financial models. that deliver returns while keeping rents affordable. Cost savings benefit. Again, referring back to and I cannot emphasize enough, it's not a sales pitch, it's a human pitch. And when I say human pitch, I'm pitching investors on the human element that we have people who are in dire need of housing, and dire need of projects that can provide some housing security, safety, stability for our residents that are at or below the poverty line, along with government subsidies. So we've focused on sustainable, energy efficient, whether it be multifamily, whether it be our SRO, single room occupancy properties, or whether it be manufactured housing. We focus on sustainable financial models that deliver returns and a cost savings benefit, returns and a social impact measurement, returns to our investors, so that we balance that out. And some of the key investor benefits and proactive social impact funds, they benefit from strong returns, tax incentives. We use cost segregation, depreciation, the satisfaction of contributing to social good. Our focus on underserved areas mean investors can diversify their portfolios while making a meaningful impact across our offerings. So we have, and some of our offerings, I'll tell you about it, is the Proactive Realty Income Fund, the Proactive Realty Income Fund 2, our Proactive Opportunity Zone Fund, our soon-to-be bond offering that'll be on flight2safety.com, as well as we have a Reg CF rolling out, Rancho Affordable Living that'll be on a property here in Las Vegas, where I'm based at today.
Okay, great. You talked about some of the benefits for investors. Let me ask you a couple of follow-up questions there. How do you
Yes.
communicate the social impact of your projects to potential investors?
Impact reports, we get on personal meetings like this, Google Meet. We set up time. I have a gentleman I'm meeting with tomorrow in person, and potentially another impact investor that I'll be meeting with in person in the afternoon. I'll be in the Bay Area for 2 days. What else can I tell you? And that's about it.
Okay. Last follow-up question to that question is, can you describe the type of investors who are typically attracted to your offerings?
Okay, so the investors that are typically attracted to our offerings are impact investors. We do have people who are interested purely in return. And so, we have more of a product for them, not solely based on returns. It's still a social impact fund. However, it's a high yield social impact fund. And we do make a disclosure to investors that yes, it may provide some higher returns. However, our mission is still affordable housing, impact housing, and it's just, we're not going to compromise that for anyone. However, we do provide, some strong financial returns in that one as well.
How do you ensure transparency and trust with your investors throughout the life cycle of a project?
Great questions. So, ask me that question again, just so I make sure I'm hearing this correctly and understanding it.
Sure. How do you ensure transparency and trust with your investors throughout the life cycle of a project?
We provide investors with insights at every stage of the project, ensuring they are fully informed and engaged, detailed reporting, clear communication, regular updates. We also will do follow-ups where investors can ask questions. They have my personal cell phone number. They have the number of all our team members. If there's anything that they need to know or would like to know, or any questions they have, we invite them to do site visits, especially if they're in town. We really enjoy those, being able to show people and so they can see, touch, and feel what it is that we're doing. We really enjoy that. And providing their returns on time is the number one thing, is to make sure that there's no lapse and that they receive their investments on time. their preferred returns, targeted preferred returns, excuse me, to make that disclaimer. And that's how we ensure transparency and trust.
Hey, when you're engaging with those investors, what role does investor feedback play in shaping future offerings or projects?
Really good question. So, um, investor feedback is absolutely vital because it's the investor that makes things happen. I myself am an investor in our funds. I'm a 50% owner, having a little over 2.5 million invested of my own capital. So investor feedback is integral in shaping future offerings and projects. We actively seek input, guidance, information from our investors to fine tune our strategies and align both our mission of social impact affordable housing and social impact, social justice, social equity across all of our properties for everyone, and that it aligns with financial goals. And another thing I'd like to say is the reason I say that is because a couple times I've had some investors or a group reach out that was interested in proactive impact funds, and they reached out and were like, okay, this is a fund that's only for, the Black community. And I've been like, well, no, this is for the low income community, whoever that happens to be, people who are at or below the poverty line. And so, and that's my answer on that question.
Can you talk about the risk factors involved in your offerings and how you mitigate the risk?
Yes, absolutely. So some of the risk factors involved include market volatility for that particular area. And when I say market volatility, it's that particular area in general. So for the low income space, there's no risk, but we've had a couple times where some agencies have either run out of funding or not been able to provide the number of people that they promised. They may come up. So, for example, they promised us 20 sometime every so often. And when I say sometimes, I mean like it happens maybe once or twice a year. If we're promised 20 individuals that may be in need of affordable housing, we may end up with 16 or 17. And sometimes they'll say, well, we're waiting on a grant, or it's the end of the fiscal year, or things of that nature. And we mitigate these risks through diversification, through due diligence, through strong partnerships with government and community agencies. And we always have a backup plan, or we have a waiting list of people. Sometimes the risk can be a material adverse circumstance. And what I mean by that is that we've had a situation before where we've been approved. We've been approved for something, and unfortunately, the county will then say, like we had an issue with Williamsburg County. And with Williamsburg County, what happened was that they says, oh, well, yeah, you're approved at first for 31 spaces, and we just cut it down because of a new ordinance that literally rolled out like a week post closing. That's something that absolutely never happens. However, it did happen in this particular circumstance. And so, but we were still able to mitigate that risk successfully.
Great. So now we're going to move on to some questions about proactive social impacts, broader vision and impact. How do you see the future of social impact investing, particularly in the affordable housing sector?
So the future of social impact, that's a really good question. The future of social impact investing, there's a lot of groups that are now that are allocating a lot of funds and resources towards sustainable housing, towards social impact housing, especially in the affordable housing sector. We foresee a growth demand for investments that provide both financial return and social benefit. ProActive is poised to lead in this particular space.
What inspired you to focus on social impact housing, and how has your vision evolved over time?
Oh, thank you for that question. I've been a product of social impact myself. So I had an aunt who was on Section 8, and because she was on Section 8, I was able to be stable to go to a really decent school. Uh, and the school that I went to school mostly in Berkeley, and it really worked out for me. So that's part of my motivation and mission. Uh, just being a product of it myself, of benefiting from social impact growing up.
How does Proactive Social Impact Funds plan to scale its impact in the coming years?
Oh, it's great question. Through our projects that we decide to that we're moving forward with. So again, in our Sustainalytics report, we have several properties that we're working on that we will be developing. Uh, that will be really helpful.
What trends are you seeing in the real estate crowdfunding space, and how is Proactive positioning itself to lead in this space?
A lot of trends that we're seeing in the housing space are trends of people building quote unquote affordable housing, saying that it's affordable, and it truly isn't. Like there'll be, say, 50 units of housing or something that comes up, or 100 units or more, and they'll say, "Oh well, we're going to set aside 8 to 10% of those units for affordable housing," which is typically not true. Um, in that particular area, because the low income that they'll be bringing in are typically those that are 80%, that have a higher income than those that were displaced in that particular area. The trends that I see in the crowdfunding space, and how we're positioned to lead, and how we position, are prepared to scale. Uh, is to be involved in social impact, to make sure it's measurable, to make sure that it's accurate, it's transparent, and to demonstrate that it's possible to create affordable housing that is not only cost effective, but also sustainable, inclusive, and aesthetically pleasing.
Can you share a success story where your investment strategy made a significant difference in a community?
Yes. Oh, wow. We have lots of those. So Orangeburg, South Carolina is one where we sold a part to publicly traded UMH, which is a social impact firm itself. I mean, a really good social impact firm with us, with measured impact. So let's see. So Orangeburg, Las Vegas, Nevada, we did really good social impact story there. Case study. That's a success. That's a 20-unit space. We were able to work with the city, county, local officials on. And also another project in Orangeburg, South Carolina, which was 4 units of affordable, truly low-income, affordable, sustainable housing. Also, in Illinois, we were able to provide low-income, sustainable housing to people in that particular area through our units on our projects that we have in both Riverdale, Phoenix, Illinois, and Harvey, Illinois.
Okay, great. For the final question today, what advice would you give to someone looking to invest in social impact projects for the very first time?
That they can start off with a crowdfunding campaign, such as what we have coming up on Silicon Prairie for our Reg CF. And they can start with a small amount of money, and also be exposed to some really great social impact developments. I would advise them to diversify, to read as much as they can on social impact, or if they're listeners or viewers, to view YouTube videos on social impact. ProActive has its channel, ProActive Social Impact, on YouTube, as well as to engage with any community groups or local groups, or if they join an organization that has a local chapter, that they can learn more about and focus on social impact, what it is, what it means, what that entails, what's all of the intricacies that are involved with social impact, and the work that's being done, because social impact is a lot of work.
Great. Dr. Van, this was very insightful. If people wanted to know where they could follow and find you, and also Proactive Social Impact Funds, could you tell us where we can find and follow you and the fund?
Yes, sir. So you can follow us on our YouTube channel, Proactive Social Impact. Also, you can follow us on on LinkedIn Live. We do have a Facebook channel as well, and we have an 800 number for those who want to get in contact with us, 1-800-626-2089. Email address is invest@proactivefunds.com, or you can go to either of our websites, proactivefunds.com or proactiveimpactfunds.com.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Van. Anything you want to say in closing?
This has been really good. Sorry, I'm not feeling the best today. Had just a little allergies. However, very thankful for this interview. Very thankful for the impact that we've created to date, and the impact that we're working on. And the impact that we're working on for future impact, and to impact families for generations. As you know, or may be aware of, that things are very generational, in the sense that I'm sure you've seen people who have lived in housing projects, and maybe they live in low-income housing projects, and you'll see 3 generations. You'll see the grandmother, the mom, and then the kids who grow up, and they are also low income, or will be in housing that's not the best. And so we're looking to help people to grow, develop, and create some generational sustainability in the impact space. And for our manufactured home communities, purchasing of a manufactured home just a little bit above our cost from the factory allows people to start to build some generational wealth, to open up to a new mindset, a new way of thinking, hopefully, and to move forward.
Dr. Van, this was a great interview, and thank you for leaving those pathways to a different lifestyle. You have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for the Proactive Social Impacts LinkedIn Live. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.